video where the president of Nigeria condemned the attack, where the president of Nigeria visit the scene of the attack to console the ethnic nationalities that are being victimized. So, my brothers and sisters, this is going to be my opening speech.
Right.
And on this speech, on this rock, I shall build my mountain, or I shall build my castle today.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Simon, I'll come back to you later. Jocelyn, your reaction to President Buhari's tweet on Tuesday.
Jocelyn. Hi, thank you for the platform, Dr. David, and thank you for the invite as well. It's a great opportunity to be among all the educated people right here in this platform. The Twitter speech has been actually going, is making everybody go haywire in Nigeria to an extent, because I just made a comment right there. When the freedom of speech of the people is being hindered, of a nation is being hindered, that means the nation is in a total anarchy, and then the people is under the leadership of a dictator. As it is right now, we do not actually have a president because we do not know what is going on. When the president is supposed to come out and make a speech, you see their handlers like the Garba Shehu and Lai Mohammed and Femi Adesina, all the likes of them, they come up to give us a speech. Apparently, just like they are the one actually in charge of the affairs of the nation. So the people are completely blind. So you cannot take away the freedom of the people from expressing their views. Okay. So what they are trying to do right now, because we see that this is like a planned attack on the people, trying to shut everyone down. The next thing, because I feel and believe that they're going to do is to shut down the internet in Nigeria. I think they are heading towards that. They are doing it in such a way that when everything starts to unfold, people will not be able to report what is going on. So we are able to get all this report because our people are sending us reports and sending us images and videos of what is going on. Then we can be able to report it. So if they're able to take away their right of freedom of speech, then how do we get the report? How do we know what is going on? That means we will be totally blind of what is going on back home. Last night as well, one of our Biafran lawyer was actually attacked at the middle of the night. How can a police or DSS go to someone's house after 3 a.m.? You did not break down the gate. They did not open the gate, but you jumped fence into the building. And one of the security personnel was killed in that man's house, and they took other people away. What is their aim? Why are they targeting this particular set of people in Nigeria? It is worrisome. It is worrisome. The lives of everyone back home is at stake, not just only the Biafrans. The plans these guys have for us is to actually, surround us all without us knowing that we've been surrounded. And when this thing happens, this will be it is going to be a killing spree in Nigeria. This is the planned deal. This is what they have planned for every one of us back home in Nigeria. And we are saying no to that. We are saying the president do not have any right to threaten anybody with a war speech. And right now, what the people from the northern state, they're actually supporting him. And when you ask or invite them for an interview over on any of the media house, they turn it around to blame IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, and every one of them. Mm-hmm. But they are not mentioning what the herdsmen are doing. They are not mentioning the kidnap of children. Do you know that kids below age of 5, from the age of 5 and above were kidnapped in, if I'm wrong, correct me, I think in Niger State, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Children from the age of 5, how can you kidnap children? These children, they are just beginning to learn how to talk. How can you kidnap kids? And the government, they are not even looking into that. But what they are concerned, what they are after is the tweet of Mr. President that was deleted by Jack, by the owner of Twitter. It is completely absurd. It is stupid, honestly.
Okay.
So this is my take on this topic. Mm-hmm. They do not have the right to trample upon the freedom of speech of the people of a nation. We are in a democracy, for crying out loud. So how can we be in a democracy and we are having a dictator to tell us how to live our life and we cannot speak? Either you speak and you get killed. In Nigeria, you speak and you get killed. If you don't speak, you get killed. So what do? So we have to speak up.
All right.
This is my take.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Miriam, to bring more information, which has just landed on my desk now. There is a siege on a bar Ifeni Ijefol family house in Onitsha.
Oh my gosh!
From last night.
That's what Jocelyn said. Yeah.
Yes, I have friends. I have very close people there. I receive information firsthand. This is Onitsha, Eastern Nigeria, Sunday, June. A few hours this morning, the police, the army, the security, the intelligence surrounded the house of one lawyer with his family by name Onu Ifeni Ejof, and his siblings. They took all the people. They have taken them, beaten them. They have taken them away at night. I get these reports of extrajudicial elimination on a daily basis with photographs, with videos. So when we talk here, Kenya is a member of the United Nations Security Council. Kenya is a member of the Peace Security Council of African Union.
Peace and conflict.
So, gentlemen, when we talk here, we are talking at the seat of the United Nations. And the President Uhuru Kenyatta will be interested to know some of these facts, because these are things coming up in the Security Council later on this week. People are being killed. You kill all the siblings. Thank you very much.
All right.
That's the information I wanted to give.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marsanga, for that information. Yes, Kenya is the chair of the AU's Peace and Conflict Council there, Reverend Father Polycarp. Now, Nigeria has banned Twitter from the country. That is after, Twitter, removed a tweet by President Buhari last week on Tuesday, where he says that he will treat, especially those people who want to calling for secession from Nigeria, he will treat them in the language they understand. What do you think the president meant by this?
Well, I thank you for calling on me for this platform, Dr. Marsanga and Miriam, for the moderation. I must say that I wasn't disappointed, and I will never be disappointed by Buhari, because he has been consistent in his naked nepotism and insensitivity. I think all the people who have spoken, Mary, Jocelyn, and my brother Simon, have said that. I would say rather that action is, for me, a welcome development, so that the world at large would see the type of president that Nigeria has. It will confirm everything that all the agitators have been saying. Previously, somebody said there are a lot of things happening in Nigeria, a lot of things happening in the southern part of Nigeria, whether it is due to one nation or in Africa. But the president doesn't take interest in addressing any of them. If anything happens outside the country, in Europe, in America, he will be the first person to give a press statement. But people are being killed every time. Just last week, hundreds of people were killed in a neighboring community in Ebonyi State. They raped children of 2 years, killed people. I don't know how somebody could rape a child of 2 years. Killed people, set hospitals ablaze, wherein they even killed 2 brothers. One was an admission in the hospital, and another was looking after his brother. And the Fulani herdsmen killed them. The president never tweeted. He never did anything. He could only tweet when his threats of genocide was deleted by Twitter. That shows us the scale of preference of the type of man we have as president in Nigeria. And my reaction, again, to conclude, is that I liked that thing that happened. I see it from a positive angle, so that when we talk, people will understand what we are talking about. They may not think that we are making it up. And that remains my reaction to it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Marsanga. If you could bring in somebody else. Doctor, are you there?
Hello. Oh, sorry.
All right, go ahead. Actually, it was...
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for having me on here. My name is Citizen AY. I'm an advocate for self-determination for Yoruba people, very much like my Igbo brothers, Simon Ekpa, Joycelyn, and my learned Reverend Dr. Poli. Sorry, I can't remember the full name. Yes, and I thank you all for your discussions this morning, and I thank you for giving us the opportunity to discuss right here on this platform. And I also thank the host for bringing me on board. Thank you very, very much. What I would like to say is that the Nigerian government is engaged in, and it isn't a Nigerian government. Let's get this correct, very, very clear. This is a Fulani government. We need to, this has to be established, and this is based on fact. Of the 22 ministers who are in governance in that contraption we call Nigeria, only 2 come from the south. Only 2 come from the south. This means that the current Fulani government are breaking the constitution, which, by the way, is a fraud. It is a fraud that they imposed on us. So in the constitution, it says that there should be a wide representation of people from across the whole of the nation, not from a few sections or a few regions or a few locations. What we have is a constitution of the Fulanis who barely make 15 million of 200 million people, oppressing and suppressing mainly Southerners, and they've been doing this for a long time. So I want people to be very aware that it is of no surprise, like the Reverend said, it is of no surprise the actions of this government. They have been consistently doing this for a long time. The only change now is that a lot more people like myself, Simon Ekpa, Joycelyn, the Reverend, and many others are speaking up on various platforms. And we've been amplifying these atrocities. And let me state clearly, the Twitter ban exposed the injustices, because the government is quite happy for killings to go on in the south, and they don't even react. And what is more shocking is the government, the Fulani government, they actually encourage Fulanis to walk around with AK-47s. That is to say, the government gives AK-47 to Fulanis to go into southern region and target communities, kill, and exterminate. So what we saw, I'll come back to the current situation now. What we saw, what we're seeing now in Igogo, in Oyo State, is the full blatant extermination of people. They are going in and killing people and silencing the press. Now, one thing I want to bear in mind, a pastor passed away, TB Joshua. Now, what you will see in the coming hours, and I guarantee you, you will see the channel news, you will see TVC, they will carry that. And it is to mask the genocide that is going on. This is what we all need to be aware. They are going to mask it, because they will be pulling the news. Oh, TB Joshua died. Okay, let us RIP. Of course, we all condolences to him. No doubt about that. But in terms of in the context of the thousands of people being killed daily in Nigeria, that is small fry, to be frank with you. I'm going to stop there for now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I'd like to bring in, and now one of the panelists from Kenya, Professor Jared Onyari. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Okay, Professor
Onyari.
Doc, go ahead.
Yes, I have keenly followed and listened to the discussion and presentation from our brothers and comrades from Nigeria. I've always said that Africa has got work to be done. And this is the work to do it because there's another person to do it, Dr. Marsanga. As much as you know that we don't agree with ICC, but from what I have listened, Dr. Marsanga, evidence is enough for us to prepare International Criminal Court to account. You can't kill people. So in terms of my comrades from Nigeria, I don't want to indulge ourselves in discussing this. But it is good that we are having this conversation. That we start preparing and having evidence to have the front government and the President Buhari to appear before the International Criminal Court and answer those charges. I am annoyed. Thank you, Miriam.
Prof, thank you. Your connection there, reception is not very good, so perhaps you could do something about it. It is thought that perhaps the role that Twitter played last year during the protest of #EndSARS, police brutality, could be one of the things that has led, Nigeria to temporarily ban Twitter in that country. And of course, much of it is attached to the secessionist, agitation by IPOB and other groups in Nigeria. I don't know how you feel about this, Daniel Wesonga.
No, before Daniel comes in, Daniel, hold the fire. I want to expand on the question of Professor Onyadi's suggestion. The ICC is going to be cleaned on 15th of June, 1 week from now. Now, this is the time to go there. Because there was a man called Osuji. I think, Simon, you know him.
Yes, I know him, yes.
Then there was another woman called Fatou Bensouda. Now, wait, the drama is changing. And I'm now giving you, don't worry. The drama is changing. These guys have left, are leaving.
Let me
now let me give you information. We have a new prosecutor coming in. Prepare yourselves, Simon and others. The war is not fought only in one direction.
Yes.
The war is fought in several directions. That is it, Simon.
Thank you. Just a quick comment before the next speaker. The professor, yes, I agree with you. What you said is in line. But also, let me also inform our African people that the ICC and the other international body has also opened a case on Nigeria. According to what we heard, they came to Nigeria for investigation, and the Nigerian government decided not to cooperate with them. And this is issue that raises a very serious concern. And after this issue was raised, including a very renowned journalist from the UK, if I'm not mistaken, he once interviewed the Minister of Information in Nigeria called this man, Alai Mohammed. He interviewed him and grilled him and asked him a lot of questions. Why did Nigerian government decided not to cooperate with investigators? This Minister of Information denied having knowledge of anything. And everything he denied during that interview is what they have all implemented now. Number one of them is banning of Twitter. They want to implement the censorship of the social media. They want to control the social media. That Minister of Information on that interview denied having knowledge of any bill to control social media in Nigeria. And on that day, he also denied that Nigeria government refused to cooperate with the ICC when they came in for materials, when they came in for investigation. So let it be on public knowledge that they have attempted, even the UN came to Nigeria for fact-finding to investigate the issue, the cases against Nigeria government. They never cooperated. This is a problem. So we have to look for a way to, maneuver, or should I say, to circumvent whatever we should to make sure that the people in power are compelled, either one way or the other. How that is going to happen, I do not know, but I leave it for Africa people to decide. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Miriam, maybe. Miriam.
Oh, all right. Dr. Nyancha,
Yes.
go ahead.
Let's straighten this debate. Before other people say this, Simon, we are trying to bring this whole thing to international level for the information of the panel, so that we all know how ICC works. I am an expert there. I know what happens on that way. You don't need a Nigerian to file an application. Simon, hear me, and pick a pen, take this. You don't need a Nigerian. You need anybody in any member state that has ratified the ICC statute, where ICC operates. A man from Botswana can go and sue and arrest and seek a warrant of arrest once the ICC gives him power to arrest Buhari. It doesn't need a Nigerian. Once you have that evidence, a man from Spain can detain Mr. Buhari anywhere at the airport in Lisbon. You remember Pinochet? Mr. Pinochet was arrested, you remember, during Margaret Thatcher's time? Pinochet, you know why Paul Robia cannot travel to London? Do you know what I've done, Simon? The papers are waiting there. Paul Robia cannot step in London. That's how we deal with dictators. I'm not a Cameroonian, but I've filed papers waiting. If Paul Robia steps in London, not Marsanga, the old belly will serve Paul Robia with papers. And his plane will not leave Heathrow Airport. That's international law. And I'm here. Don't say how we shall do it. Simon, I have done it before. We have done it before. We have defeated Fatou and hit the nail in the coffin. Osuji and Fatou were bribed by Buhari. Full stop. They could not go any further. Why? What will they do to you, Simon? The law of Finland protects you. What will they do to you? Why do you want to hide? These guys were given cash as soon as they arrived. They arrived there to investigate. Now that Fatou Bensouda, the Gambian, is leaving, I am following her for private prostitution. Any house, anywhere she is, I will get her. Will you hear me? Anywhere on planet Earth, anywhere, there will be a summons. I've been waiting for this. We want to play international law. So don't worry. Joseph Nyachama, you had a point, a comment before we hand over to Miriam.
Yeah. What I wanted to maybe to pose a question to my three brothers and one sister, Simon and the Reverend. And
there are four brothers.
Okay, when we look at the behavior of the head of state of
a network issue.
We apologize for that. Okay, we apologize for that. Perhaps Daniel, you could come in since you're there.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And of course, the question of the Biafran people is a very, very pivotal issue, not only for the people of Biafra, but for the African continent. And to answer that question, I'll quote what Abraham Lincoln said in regards to self-governance. And he said that no man should feel himself so good enough to govern another without another man's consent. And that is what should happen to the people of Biafra. I believe they have fought for quite so long. They have been discriminated against for quite so long in the successive regimes in Nigeria. The people of Biafra have spilled blood of their sons, their daughters, and families have been broken by the successive regimes. And therefore, what President Buhari is doing today is just an addition, an injury to the wound of what people of Biafra have been going through. And the ban on the social media, Miriam, is a clear manifestation that the regime in Nigeria is a bandit regime. It is being led by a terrorist who has not shied away from employing his Fulani herdsmen into the military in order to perpetuate crimes against humanity. As we speak today, Miriam, you've heard from people who are in Nigeria that the state is using the military and other state security organs not to fight Boko Haram, not to fight Al-Shabaab and other terror groups in the north, but to fight people who are actually, according to the UN Statute for Self-Determination, actually finding their own freedom from the corrupt regime that is in Nigeria. I think, Miriam, to me, that is a state-sponsored terrorism against the people of Biafra, and Africa should come and join hands with the people of Biafra so that we help these people to determine their fate, to determine their destiny, and be able to secede from the Nigerian regime so that they can be able to chart their future. And I really thank Dr. Marsanga for bringing the conversation on this particular platform. And I believe in the near future, we are going to have a very independent, liberal republic for the people of Biafra. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. I think, Simon, I think I'll come back to you now. Earlier on, you had given part of your submission.
Should I go ahead now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, that brother, for speaking it the way it is. And yes, we are going to do everything to make sure that the independent state of Biafra is restored. And the reason why this conversation is very important is that it is time we go to international stage. It is time we begin to discuss within Africa. We have created a lot of enough awareness within Nigeria, within Biafra. And let me just inform you people today that on the 31st of May 2021, we had what I could say should be a referendum, a pre-referendum. The Biafra people decided to honor our fallen heroes, and the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Marsanga Kano, ordered every Biafrans to sit at home. And that was a big shock to the Nigerian government, that even the governors of Biafra state all ordered the people to adhere to this order of sit at home. It was the first, total compliance in the history of Nigeria since after the Biafra war. So this is also on its own a referendum, and I implore you all to check it out, search it on the internet, Google it out. The images are there for you to see how the Biafra people complied, total compliance, and businesses and everything were stand still on the 31st day of May 2021. That on its own is a referendum. We have sent a very strong message to the international community. By so doing, we have sent a strong message to African Union. By so doing, we've sent a very good message to show that the Biafra people are ready to exit Nigeria. And like I've always said, and this my brother who just spoke now pointed it out very clearly, what we have in Nigeria is state-sponsored terrorism. You have the so-called repentant Boko Haram being recruited into the military, I don't know anywhere in the world where that can happen. Somebody will come and say he's a repentant Boko Haram, and you recruit the person into the military. And we have seen military men, generals, coming out openly to say a Boko Haram member can become the president of Nigeria. In Nigeria today, we see that terrorists have taken over some of the vital offices, positions in Nigeria. As I talk to you today, the Minister of Communication has link with terrorism. The Minister of Communication was directly preaching to the people who have become most of the leaders in the north supported him, and he is now controlling the data of Nigerians, controlling telephone, controlling SIM card, everything that has to do with communication, and he passes it to Boko Haram. And that was the reason why each time the military from the south, they go on a mission to fight Boko Haram, they have always been ambushed. Not know whether other African countries do read the news, how the military are being ambushed in Nigeria. Let me also shock you today that those people that have been victimized and are victim of ambush, of Boko Haram ambush, they are all from the southern and the middle belt of Nigeria. They have annihilated all our men. They have killed them. The genocide in Nigeria is unspeakable. So it is a good thing that we have started this conversation. And I will leave it here for now and continue again in the next, when I have the next time to talk. Thank you.
We'd like to chip in if I can.
Go ahead.
Yes, again, Simon, spot on with your analysis there. I want to give right now for our people, for their safety right now, because as we speak, every second that is going, our people are being killed. I'm talking about Southerners, Middle Beltons, Biafrans, and Yorubas. We are being killed. Now, here are three things that we want you to do. Two things in particular. If you are on ground in Yoruba land, in Biafra land, and in Middle Belt, two things. Number one, make sure you download a virtual private network on your phone. There are various ones that you can have. The first thing is you need to have that. That is of critical importance. Now, when you download it, install it. Because as we speak, all the phone lines will be cut. All the means of communications, not only are they going to block Twitter, Twitter is just a first phase. They're going to gradually make sure no information gets out of that contractor called Nigeria. They're going to block everything. What we've seen, for example, people have been watching channel news for the past week. Channel news has been sort of flickering on and off when you're watching live on the news on Facebook, and that is deliberate. It is something they are controlling. What they are trying to do by doing that is to lull you into a false sense that everything is okay or it's just network. But they're the ones controlling it. They will do that gradually. They're going to switch off the media, social media in the southwest, southeast, middle belt. They're going to do it gradually, and it's all subtle, designed to keep us, oppressed. Now, the other thing is, please, I urge you all get into vigilante groups, support Eastern Security Network, and other security networks that ground ourselves we need vigilante groups. Now, the link between the vigilante groups and the virtual private network is this. When you have a virtual private network, when you switch it on, you can't be tracked. You can organize yourselves, you can protect yourselves without the police or the army or whatever security forces tracking you, because the virtual private network makes sure that your location are hidden. So I want to reiterate that. What we are faced with, and let me also add to this, what we are faced with is a genocide. There was a silent genocide that happened between 1967 and 70 that people didn't talk about. 5 million people died. Even though it was a war, until date, the so-called Fulani government have never acknowledged that genocide. In fact, they do everything in their power to not humanize the people that they slaughtered through hunger, oppression, war, everything. So make no mistake about this. Southerners, Middle Belt, Biafrans, and Yoruba, there is a war that is being brought onto our land. We have the right to self-determination and to, according to UN law, we have a right to defend our lives. And we must activate that at this point. Enough of the talking. The people that came through our life, we urge our people on the ground, get to work now.
All right.
VPN, organize yourselves. Those two things. Thank you very much.
All right.
Can I come in, please?
Thank you so much. Is that Reverend Father Polycarp? I wanted to come to you. Yes. Yeah. So the seat at home, that happened in commemoration of what happened.
Miriam.
Yes.
Miriam, can I interrupt?
Okay. Go ahead.
There is Patrick Ikemu. At least Reverend is a fair man of the church. He has spoken twice. Give Ikemu. You might have, from your screen, you might not have seen him. Mm-hmm. He was on the screen from Patrick Ikem.
Yes, sorry.
Then, Reverend, please, let's share the bread.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Marsanga. Yeah, thank you. Can I proceed now?
Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, Patrick. Where are you joining us
from? Thank you very much, Dr. Marsanga, for the opportunity. I want to say a happy Sunday around the world. Happy Sunday to Biafrans. Happy Sunday to Kenyans. Happy Sunday to our followers and viewers. My name is Ikem Patrick Ike, and I'm a member of the Indigenous School of Biafra, and I'm specifically based in Italy. And I'm also a presenter with the Biafra Television, and it is my pleasure to be here today. I have followed the discussion for the past few minutes, and we've talked about the ban of Twitter. The Twitter ban was, the issue of Twitter was Muhammad Buhari's personal issues. We've seen Twitter had personal issues with the former president of America, Donald J. Trump. Relations. We've seen other high-profile individuals had similar issues with Twitter. They simply respected the ordinances and the rules and regulations of Twitter. And Twitter have their rules, they have their regulations. If you go against it, you'll be placed according to the consequences. And quite unfortunately, we see one of the ex-advisor gave something, young man, Ahmed Gaba or something, saying that one of the board of directors, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is the board of director in Twitter, would have advised Twitter not to ban the president of Nigeria. Unfortunately, they failed to understand that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is not the CEO of Twitter. She doesn't have any power to make decisions for Twitter. And this is the mentality of the Fulanis. They want the world to revolve around them. The Fulanis want the world to revolve around them, and they want the rules to change when it gets to their turn. So Twitter, a global corporation, should for their own, whatever reason, change the rules, because Muhammad Buhari have gone against, and he's the president and he's a Fulani man, so Twitter should change their rules, yes, readjust. Yes.
Patrick, let me ask you a question. Information Minister Lai Mohammed said IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu sometimes tweets things that, according to him and the government, is out of order, but Twitter doesn't seem to ban him or remove some of his tweets. Is he right in that assertion?
It is not in the position of Lai Mohammed to judge who and how Twitter should function. If Twitter find any of the tweets of the leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, not worthy, then it is their duty to bring it down or suspend his page, just like they did to the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. So these are the issues that we are facing in Nigeria, where these dictators want to tell the whole world how the world should run. And this is the reason we must resist them. It is not within the power of Lai Mohammed to make decisions on Twitter. He wasn't there when Twitter made the rules. You know, so it is completely out of place for Lai Mohammed to dictate for Twitter how they dictate for Nigerians.
Right. Thank you so much, Patrick.
So if you still allow me, there are certain points I'll come back to you,
Patrick. I'll come back to you.
Yes.
I'll come back to you. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very well. Thank you so much. Now I want to go back to Reverend Father Polycarp. The Biafrans had a seat at home that happened on 31st of May, commemorating the 1967-1970 war that happened, and I think commemorating 54 years of what they called independence. Do you think this is just one of the things that by the government of Buhari, and perhaps it is not the removing of President Buhari's tweet that really has made Nigeria to suspend Twitter for now? Maybe that is part of the culmination to where Nigeria is today. The seat at home.
Definitely. I would think that, because they are always perturbed by any act that shows that one is trying to free himself or themselves from the domination which they had already planned how it would go. And I would like to recast our mind back for the benefit of other Africans here. Because the other time I talked that the foundation laid was faulty. It is the same thing here. Nigeria is a creation of colonial expediency and chauvinism. They planned this thing very well. This domination of Fulani, let us imagine, Fulani is not so many in Nigeria. They first of all came in, conquered the northern Nigeria. Hausa people are not among. They conquered them. They are now conquered people. When we go to the northern Nigeria now, we have this number of children, out of school children who never go to school. They are called Amajiris. These are children of the Hausa people. Now they don't go to school. The very people who go to school are these privileged Fulani who now in combination with Great Britain are dominating every other part of the country. Now when the President Jonathan came in, let us imagine that he now built a lot of schools for these children of northern Nigeria. This Buhari has come now to close these schools. So we would think that our brothers over the north also that they are among the people who are lording it over us. But then they are already conquered. They are now conquering every other part. It is not only Biafra. They are conquering Oduduwa. They are conquering Middle Belt. And they are doing it, playing the script that the colonialists, which foundation the colonialists laid. They made sure that the education system that time didn't entrench liberal thinking, the type we are doing now. They didn't want it. They wanted people who will be thinking in a hierarchical manner, whose loyalty will remain with the Great Britain. And that is why these things we are saying and what we are up to is an uphill task. Nobody should think that we are only up for war with Fulanis. No, because every other part of the superpower is afraid what will happen when these nations lumped together in Nigeria separate. And that is actually the reason why they combined to make sure that Biafra lost during the Biafra War. Because in Biafra, in the loss of Biafra, many other free-thinking nations in Africa died. Had it been that Biafra won, then other nations around Africa which were lumped together like Africa was, like Nigeria was, would have gone their way. And that is what these superpowers do not want. And that is still the case now. If Nigeria, if Africa is to stay under the domination of the superpowers, Africa to go, they wouldn't want to do the what to go. Because if these people go now, then it will be a part of a sort of a domino effect. Other people will be thinking, what happened? And the whole of Africa will begin to think. So people can actually rule themselves. That is where I want my brothers and sisters from Africa to concentrate on, to see why it is incumbent on you people to support us. We cannot do it alone inside Nigeria. You see how they silence everybody. That is what has already been planned over a century now, before this amalgamation. So my brothers and sisters, I plead with you. You see how it is going in Nigeria. Many things, there is censorship of media. Unfortunately, this dictatorship that is in place now came into power through the media. The Nigerian people came together, used media, said, no, we didn't want the People's Democratic Party again. And Buhari was a man who had cried for decades that he wanted to rule Nigeria. Many people didn't suspect him, but few people knew him for who he was. Eventually, he got the power. And what did he do? Open the package of the plan they had about establishing Fulani Khalid in the whole of Nigeria. That is why you will never hear him make any comment about the massacre going on in southern Nigeria. It is going on in the Oduduwa Republic. It is going on in Biafra, but he will never make a mention of that. Down there in the south, he has disarmed everybody. They don't want anybody to go with guns. But the Fulani herdsman marooned with AK-47, killing people at night, morning and afternoon. And nobody makes a case about it. Once they finish their work, the Nigerian army and the police will rush into the community to make sure that there's no retaliation. And this is what they don't want us to continue to expose. And that is why they will continue to interfere with this social media. So my brothers and sisters, it is a sincere plea that we do not leave the nationalities in Nigeria alone. I am here not only for Biafra, I am also for Oduduwa Republic. I am also for our brothers and sisters in the Middle Belt. Please, it is an urgent appeal. And I'm very grateful that this platform exists, this television exists, which will help us to continue this sensitization. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Miriam. Let me take it here now to compliment Miriam's ability to have brought out that question directed to you. You have brought out something very important, and the panel, especially Noble Zibide, I want to hear from you. Are there external forces that are worried of Nigeria getting independence from certain states getting independence, going away from the cobbled Nigeria of 1914? Just because, isn't it that what the Reverend has said? Father, you have said there are external forces. One of them is Total Oil, another one is Shell BP. Okay. Simon, your group should tell us about these external forces. But let's hear from the gentleman, the lawyer man with the only guy with the English tie. This on the panel.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm very excited that these issues are being discussed here. We are all here for each other, to have each other's back, to make sure that we secure life and property within the 4 ages of Africa. We are very, very keen and determined to do things in the right way and to correct things. There are external forces. You know, in Nigeria, these external forces have financed a lot of projects to make sure that they keep Nigeria as one forcefully against the wish of the people. Companies like Chevrolet, Shell, BP, Total, they are external forces. They are not only the external forces. We have some Arab countries who are financing some Islamic agendas to have what you call total dominance. Like the school that Saudi Arabia is inaugurating recently in Brunei, where Boko Haram have devastated so much to an extent that we don't know who are going to attend the school there. With the situation of terrorism and threat for human safety, insecurity in Borno State, that shows that this government is out of touch and don't understand that without security, there will be no stability, confinement of provision of safety for every families and their children to even attend school. We're not against any Islamic school. All we want is that people should live like human beings rather to live like animals. We are overwhelmingly happy to see development emerge in every part of Africa for foreign investors to come in. But is it when a president is being offended by a tweet that he made, which is against the norms and regulations of Twitter, and he should jeopardize every other people in the country because that Twitter condemned his action of threat of war against people whom have passed through genocide that was swept under the carpet. And African Union is silent. African presidents and NGO CEOs, people who are governing Africa, are silent against what is happening to Biafra. The genocide is going on as we are speaking now. Yesterday night by 3 a.m. in the morning, our humble lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, was adopted from his home to a unknown destination. A high level of tyranny that have only groomed terrorism within the areas and regions that need more peace. We are the ones financing every source of financial capability in Nigeria. We don't even own oil pipelines, but they own all the oil pipelines. We who are the indigenous of Biafra, we are almost 90 million in population. With a good, substantial, credible census, we are almost 90 million people. We are eligible to own our own nation. And that is what we urge African nations and African leaders to look beyond this Nigeria mentality that if Nigeria divide, it will destabilize Africa or destabilize West Africa. This is not truth. How many population is Ukraine? How many population is Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary, Holland, Germany? What is their population? These countries are progressively growing in science and technology, innovation, infrastructures. But there is no electricity for 60 years. There is no water for drinking for 60 years. There is no good road, no transportation, no good economy, no hospitals. There are no good things that we can be proud of. The country is in debt of almost 60 billion, and they are going for more 30 billion. Which way are we going? Who are going to pay for all those debts? When there is nothing they produce, even toothpaste, Nigeria cannot produce. Even the oil, they export the oil to overseas, the crude oil, to refine it and for us to buy the same oil. And where are the resources? How are you going to make up those funds? So we are Nigeria is under hostage. As I'm telling you, as we are speaking now, the president died in 2017. I am telling you people, very big fact. The president died in 2017. They swept it under the carpet and they have tried to dominate every part of the government. Aviation, Fulani. Immigration, Fulani. Military, Fulani. Police, Fulani. Civil servants, Fulani. Every sector, it is dominated by Fulani. How are we one people? That is the question I'm asking. Where is the shared common purpose and value of common interest, that we share a common value that helps us to protect individuals' worries and self-expression that we don't even have the right anymore to have. We are going into ditch, and we can continue this way. That is the reason why only Northern Fulani have established 6 terrorist organizations. If you ask now, there are they destroy our commodities, and they take tax from the commodities. They destroy it, they also take the taxes. How are we one people? They open up their border in the north, they close our own border. They say only one person can import rice, which is Dangote. Only one person can sell cement. We are not going nowhere. We are trapped and we are on hostage. That's why we're asking the whole world and world leaders. This platform is going to help us to transcend this message through every part of Africa. We need your help. African leaders, we need your help. AU is not functioning. It's dead already. We know that. Ask that we need the help of every world leader and including African leaders. I rest my case here till.
Thank you very much. Before I hand over to Miriam, I want to ask every Nigerian who is on this platform, when mice or rats come and eat your chair where you sit on, what happens in your culture? You remember rats and the mice came and ate Buhari's chairs. We were told the whole state house, the whole president's office, the chairs were eaten by mice. How big are these mice in Nigeria? Because I honestly, Mr. Ayo, you could be one of the elders with me here. How big are these mice that eat? The whole president's office chairs were eaten.
They must be huge. They must be humongous mice. Huge.
Okay.
But we can't even see them.
To relate.
Mr. Marsanga, let me help you to answer that question. Okay.
Yeah.
When the president went to medical treatment in London, he lost his life there. They kept it under the carpet. They hid it.
So he's dead. You know, in short, we are talking of a man who is not Buhari.
Yeah, but the reason why they gave that reason that rats ate up the properties in the presidential villa in the president's office is because they were trying to rebuild because there is a thumbprint that gives only him an access to the office. So when they brought an Israeli company that is supposed to rebuild it, they had to break it, and it took them 4 months because they don't know what again to tell people, because the president, people become worried, and we don't have a president.
Okay.
There is vacuum. Yeah. So
I want to push this debate further and then surrender myself to Miriam. Look, a rat or a mice is associated with the church. I don't know when the Reverend is still here. Yes. When we are making our collections, we collect all the takings. What do they call them? Offertory.
Offertory, yeah.
The church, the rat is always watching from the top, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, if this rat decides to come down, there is no church that can stand. So to me, I think what Nobo is saying, if these rats decided to come down to eat Buhari's chairs, I think I am beginning to believe that Buhari is not the real one, because he is gone. A rat never touches offertory money. From time immemorial, I am an Anglican, and I am also a vice chair of the warden of a church that was built in 1896. And I look after the sheep and the flock. So anything to do with Iraq is bad omen, German in Africa. So I don't know, Miriam, there is Simon to give us something that has just come in. And then I hand back, you take it over from there. There is Maina. Another Ambassador Maina has come now to provoke us, but tell Onyari to be on standby. So thank you very much. So that they can tackle each other now.
Okay.
Ambassador Maina come for Mr. Simon. I'm not in Kenya, I'm in Nigeria.
Oh. No, you are, Ambassador Maina is in Paris. Are you in Paris or where are you?
I am in Enugu State.
Wow.
Ambassador Maina is part of the clique.
Did he say he has come here for Simon?
He's in Biafra.
All right,
go ahead. Given a title, the Ohuanese.
Ambassador, we will come to you. Simon, go ahead, and then we'll go to
Ambassador Maina. Thank you very much. First of all, let me make it very clear for those who are wondering why would the Nigerian government, my brother, wondering why would the Nigerian government build this school in a terrorist control zone. The reason is this. The whole agenda of Boko Haram is now clearer. I have said it several times. There is no genuine freedom or activist from the northern Nigerian Muslim. This is a fact. Everybody that is from the northern Nigeria and is a Muslim and is shouting about activism, telling you how bad Nigeria is, they are not genuine. These are the people that are being used to deceive people and distract you, thinking that there are some people from the north that want Nigeria to progress. Everybody has one agenda. The agenda is that there will be more comfortable in an Islamic Nigeria than in a secular Nigeria, in a secular state. Everybody who is from the north and is a core Muslim will be happy in Islamic Nigeria than a secular Nigeria as it is today, where you would challenge him anything he does, where you will challenge the CGN for advocating for Sharia to be imposed in the southern Nigeria. They don't want that kind of challenge. They want to stay in a country where they will just make a pronouncement that now establish Sharia in Enugu State, Sharia court, establish Sharia court in Ogun State, and all that. And before I read what you see on the screen now, I'm going to read this information you see on the screen. But let me make this comment first. So what I'm trying to say here is that everybody and everything you see today happening in northern Nigeria is something that has been planned long ago. They are now comfortable with the Islamic State. Will ask me, what is the reason for Boko Haram? Why is Boko Haram fighting? Boko Haram is fighting for Islamic State. Now, what is the CGN of Nigeria fighting? CGN is fighting for Sharia. What is the difference between Sharia and Islamic State? When you have Islamic State, it is the same doctrine. Why do you think that a core Natana and a Muslim will fight against Sharia system? They can't fight against Sharia system. And if they cannot fight against Sharia system, what makes you think they are going to support you to continue to maintain the secular state in Nigeria? So it is a systematic conquest. I want everybody to think this line. Irrespective, it is not a religious war, but this is a reality. Now, they are going to be building schools because the Boko Haram war is a scam. And that scam is now clearer. Because if it is not a scam, you will not be pulling the military from the north and sending them to the east. Today, they are telling you that Shekau is dead. They are telling you that they have used good bandits to fight a bad bandit. They are telling you now the Nigerian security came publicly to announce that another terrorist killed another terrorist. And they are proud to say it. That is to show you that the scam, the war against Boko Haram and the Boko Haram is a scam. As I'm talking to you today, the 12 northern states in Nigeria are practicing Sharia law, which means in practice, they already have Islamic State. Mm-hmm. Now, if that is the case, they are now trying to make sure they annex the Middle Belt to join them. That is not enough. A CGN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, is now advocating for Sharia court and Sharia law in the southern part of Nigeria. So my people, do not be deceived. The war of Boko Haram is a scam. What they did with the war on Boko Haram is to bring our men and our women from the south, those ignorant people who join Nigeria army, they'll go and send them to north and they will ambush them. As I'm talking to you, this miner is here. Miner's president came from the Chad, entered Nigeria territory, killed Boko Haram and went back without the knowledge of Nigeria military. Of course, they will go behind the doors to tell you, oh, they informed them. They say, oh, we are aware that they are coming. You are aware that they are coming, but you did not participate in the operation. You are aware that they are coming, but when they were displaying the arms and ammunition recovered from Boko Haram, there is no Nigerian soldiers to show that there were a joint operation. It was a lie. The Chadian president did not inform them. The Chadian army did not inform Nigeria because they know that Nigerian military has been compromised.
Yep.
The president of Chad told the Chadian military, if you capture any Boko Haram member, do not release him to Nigerian military because they are going to free him. And I will not be surprised if Nigeria have a hand in the killing of the president of Chad. I will not be surprised if the Fulani have the hand in killing and assassinating him because he has proven to be not just a man that fight for his country. He single-handedly took arms, commanded the military, and fought war. That is by the way. Now, on the issue of what Nigeria is all about, and those who have influence or who have some interest in Nigeria, I want this to come on screen. The newspaper, the article of July 15, 1998. I am going to read, and I want all our brothers from other African countries to pay attention to what I'm about to read. This is the Times newspaper, the Times magazine, as you see it on the screen. And this read, Sir, during the negotiation for the independence of Nigeria, the view of the Secretary of State at that time, with which I agreed, was that in Nigeria, we should attempt to put together a large and powerful state with ample material resources, which would play a leading part in the affair of the continent and of the world. This was attractive, but it involved forcing several different ethnic and cultural groups into a single political structure. I want you people to pay attention to that. Firstly, the negotiations were complex. As at then, negotiation of Nigeria were complex and very difficult. The chief problem, as I remember, relating significantly to the control of the police and the military. That is still the same problem today. Today, the struggle for control of military and police has collapsed Nigeria because it is part of the devaluation of power. Because the center controls it. Fulani control the military and control the police. This has been a problem from the onset of the amalgamation of Nigeria. It is here. Now, let me continue reading this. In retrospect of 40 years, it is clear that this was a grave mistake. Forming Nigeria was a grave mistake. This is coming from a British man who was directly involved in amalgamation of Nigeria, or at least in making Nigeria a nation. He said it was a grave mistake. which has cost many lives and will continue or probably continue to do so. The question is, why would Africa country sit and watch when the British have made it very clear since 1998 that the formation of Nigeria have cost so many lives and will continue to cost so many lives? How many lives more do we want Nigeria to cost before we disintegrate Nigeria? It has cost between 1967 to 1970 over 5 million Biafrans. And we are still counting. Let us continue reading.
No,
this is very important that we read it till the end. It's just very small. It would have been better to establish several smaller states. This is what we are fighting for now. It would have been better to establish several smaller states in a free trade area. In exportation, it must be said that we did not then have the example of the collapse of Yugoslavia and of the Soviet Union before our eyes. It should now be clear for all but the willfully blind to see that it is extremely dangerous to force diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure, such as that which is being built upon the foundation of the Maastricht Treaty. Recent history suggests that it would be best to complete the development of the common market and to call a halt to political integration in Europe. And the person is Sir Peter Smithers, Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Minister of State and Secretary of State in the Colonial Office between 1952 and 1959. Now, if this is the position of a man who participated in the independence of Nigeria and built Nigeria and made Nigeria what it is today, and he has come to regret that Nigeria was a grave mistake that will continue to cost the life of people, the question to the African countries is that, do you still want Africans to be killed just for one Nigeria? Or do you want a disintegrated Nigeria that will benefit the entire African nation? I want also to show on the screen the differences, the incompatibility.
Simon.
Yes?
Simon, sir, for the purpose of the time, we have on the 30-minute satellite on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like, we have seen that car of Sharia. All of you have seen the car with Sharia schools that are being built across the southern part forcibly.
No, it is not Sharia school. It is important that I explain that just 1 minute.
Yeah, just go ahead, please.
Okay. The car you see, if you can put the screen, so the picture, the car or the picture of the car, if you can put it on the screen, it will be very good. What you see on that car, like you can see it now, the test read, Center for Eradicating Innovation and Establishing Sunnah. Now, how do we, the modern generation of the southern Nigeria, want to be part of people that want to eradicate innovation? This is the problem. This is to show you that, like I said, every northern Muslim who claim to be activists are deceiving people. They are going to be more comfortable in a Nigeria that have Sunnah than innovative center. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hillary, can you mute your microphone, please? Yes, thank you very much. Now, Miriam, back to you. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we have only strictly, we have 25 minutes. And we want to divide these 25 minutes to make it 2 hours, which we had promised on this subject. So we want, when you come to speak, please speak, hit the point, and we have allowed this to, because we wanted to get the gist of the whole thing which Simon has brought to us. That is very good. Now, I invite Miriam to invite Mr. Ambassador Maina, who has now changed tactics from Paris to Enugu. Now, I don't know what he has gone to do in Enugu again, but here he is. Miriam.
Ambassador, go ahead. Ambassador Maina Ghana, go ahead.
Yes, Miriam. Yes, good afternoon or good evening, I don't know. Let me thank you, Dr. Marsanga. Today I come for Mr. Simon because I did some clarification and information. When you called your brothers and sisters and African to come and support you, you need to give us a clear agenda, what you have, how do you want to run your government, how did you plan, and which quality of government do you want to have? Do you want to have a regime, the monasterial, you want to have a presidential with election? How do you want to build your capitals? How are you going to accommodate the different people, let's say in another part also of Nigeria want to join to you? How do you plan to accommodate them? You know, African, we have one problem we did not want to acknowledge. Everybody want power. We have seen it in South Sudan. When South Sudan was fighting, they was united at one stone. But the moment they give them their freedom, they was disintegrated. They become enemies. They shed each other like they never know each other before. Now, I want to know exactly what is the planning the Biafra want to put on the ground to make sure that African Union can fight, Africans in general can fight for you, to stand behind you. Dr. Marsanga knows that many African countries stand behind South Sudan for years in order for them to get this independence. But at the end of the day, people pay the price, to be honest. You know, people was disappointed even. Dr. Marsanga can tell you, because with all the energy. And number two, we all know that Nigeria is a part of Commonwealth. Is that you want to be part of this Commonwealth that we don't want to be part of the Commonwealth? Which language are we going to? What is a system of monetary system? What is the education? When we go at the forces outside, we have to use their system to run our government. That means that they will be among our system, either directly or indirectly. What is the plan? Because you need to have a very good agenda, roadmap that you can send to my country, to Kenya, to everywhere, that if any African want to support you, you will tell them, this is our cause, this is how we plan to govern, this is what we want to do, and this is how we are going to go about it. And this is the union we create, this is the decision. Last 2 weeks, I remember the former president of Nigeria was asked some question. I don't know if Mr. Simon is aware about this Biafra. He gives some comment. He was saying that, okay, he wants to know that even if they agree where is going to be the capital, what is the power sharing formula, maybe they will say it's Enugu. A number of people say, no. Ebonyi State will say, we now, no, this our turn to be president. Something will come out. We know our all African. We are not perfect. Because when we know our flaws from day one, we can accommodate them. This is my question 2. Question 3 to Mr. Simon. Started from President Obasanjo when he was a military soldier. Which president? I'm coming. Can I? Yes. After my question, so you write it down, you can answer, because Dr. Marsanga said we don't have time. Yeah, we don't have time. Now, started from Mr. Obasanjo, who was a military president, going to Babangida, going to Abacha, Abdusalam Abubakar, come back Obasanjo, President Yaradua, Goodluck, and Buhari. Can we estimate who was the president, at least among them, who has tried at least to bring Nigerians together, who has tried at least to rebuild the nation, to make sure that Nigerians can enjoy? Do you have one of them between all those presidents? This is my last question, Mr. Simon. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Should I answer him?
Go ahead, Simon.
Simon, be precise.
Yes, I will be very brief.
Yeah, answer him, and then Onyali hit him back, because I know where he's heading.
Yes, thank you very much. He asked what type of country are we looking at? We are looking at the Confederation of Biafra. It's going to be a confederation And then he mentioned about Sudan. With all due respect, without insulting or looking down on any tribe, you cannot compare Biafra people with Sudan. With all due respect, we travel all over the world. We have learned, we have come to embrace civilization. And let me tell you, democracy started from Biafra. Are you aware of that? So it is going to be a democratic system. We started democracy. Europeans learned and copied democracy from Biafra. This is a fact. I challenge you to go and research about it. Biafra is democratic by nature. The family, extended family system, everything we do in Biafra is democracy. So we are going to teach Africa what is democracy. Why you are mentioning Sudan? Sudan is better than Nigeria today with the war going on there. Are you going to compare Sudan and Nigeria? Isn't it a shame that as bad as you think Sudan is, they are being ranked alongside shoulder to shoulder with Nigeria? So, but we are telling you, the worst of Biafra is going to be the best of Sudan and Nigeria. We are not going to be the same thing because we have Biafrans scattered all over the world. And in case if you don't know, why most of the people shouting for Biafra and agitating for Biafra are millions of Biafra in diaspora. And of course, those back home who have the guts to speak, is because we want the best for Africa. It's because we want to prove the Europeans and Americans wrong. We want to prove them that Africa will be a place where they will come and live. How is that going to work? Let me tell you what we are going to do. We are going to have what we call database system. We are going to build the database from scratch. We have been able to identify why most of the countries in Africa have failed. What I'm telling you now is ESCO, but we don't care because we know nobody is capable of doing it. We are going to have what we call the credit system in Biafra. This credit system and database will solve 70% of crime. Not only 70% of crime, it will also solve about 80% of corruption. So we are building a country from scratch by adopting the database and credit-based system. You talk about monetary, you talk about language. It is going to be democratic. The language that will be spoken, especially that is now totally acceptable in international community and the language of communication is English language. The people of Biafra, the people of Biafra will decide. Because
will be part of Commonwealth then.
We are going to be Commonwealth. Of course, we must be member of the Commonwealth. And like I said, it is not only member of Commonwealth. We are going to be member of AU. We are going to rebuild AU. In Biafra, we are going to have the rebirth of African Union that will stand very tall in the Committee of Continent.
All right. Now, there's a Simon, before you continue,
excuse me, I want to come in, please.
Before you come in, Simon, just hold on. There's something that Ambassador asked there that I think is quite profound. That's why he gave example to South Sudan, drawing parallels there, because we've seen even a couple of times. We do a lot of African news here with Dr. Marsanga, and sometimes you see the IPOB, family may be saying something that MASOB, the Movement for Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, do not agree with. So a few times we've seen disagreements between the same groups that support, calls for independence of the Biafra nation there. So he's saying, without a clear plan, or do you have a clear plan so that when perhaps this referendum is allowed, there will not be any power struggles like we see right now in South Sudan? I think that is what it has refused South Sudan to it was supposed to be. So these groups that are fighting for independence, is there a plan to bring them together so that you're able to?
There is a plan. There is a plan to bring everybody together. But let me tell you, let me answer you. There is a plan to bring everybody together. But at this point, this is just normal in struggle for freedom. In struggle for freedom, everybody believes that you are going to do it this way Another group will believe that we are going to do it this way. At the end of the day, we are all heading to one particular direction.
That is what the leaders of South Sudan thought.
Guys, please.
Reverend Father,
let me help Simon a little.
Reverend Father, give me 1 minute. Reverend Polycarp, there is one thing we need us to understand. One thing.
Order.
Okay, Dr. Marsanga.
I have no the military
because this question is
Father, you are going to contribute. Father, you are going to contribute to this answer. But I need to address the military. It's very important.
Okay.
We don't have much time, Simon, and we also need to hear from the panelists. Yes. So if you can make it a minute or less, we will appreciate that. Yes.
And the Maya and the Reverend, this is a to continue to expose. Simon, you are giving us an assignment as Africans. And those are the questions Dr. Nanchama will be asked tomorrow. What about this when this happens? So please, let's give you one more time, 1 minute to explain to us about the military.
Thank you very much. The issue of the military, he asked about the military regime of Obasanjo and mentioned all that, whether any of them have tried to rebuild Nigeria or reunite Nigeria, however the question is. The answer is this: Nigeria was designed to fail. Nigeria was not designed to progress. Nigeria was not designed to favor the people of Nigeria. Rather, it was designed for Fulanis to control every president that comes in, whether it is a democratic president or military president. So Obasanjo, coming from the southern Nigeria, was single-handedly kicked by Fulani. You remember that Obasanjo came out from the prison? He was nobody. He had no money. So Fulani has single-handedly made him president. How do you think he's going to go against the will of Fulani? So he did not come there to build Nigeria. Obasanjo did not come to rebuild Nigeria. Obasanjo came to serve the interests of the Fulani, and we have seen it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
But he's been very critical of President Muhammadu Buhari of the late. Do you remember the letter, the scathing letter he wrote to Buhari in 2019, saying under him?
Yeah, but Miriam is writing a letter too late, too little.
All right, very well.
I agree with Simon. Obasanjo, where money is, Obasanjo will eat you. That's just facts. I have been with Obasanjo on a lot of peace missions. We went to sort the problem of DRC Congo. While we are looking for the rebel Nkunda, Obasanjo sneaked from us and went to meet Nkunda separately. So for me, where Obasanjo is involved, my plane, I will ask for it to divert another flight towards another capital. I have no respect for
my last question, Dr. Marsanga.
Yes,
my last question to the panel. My last question is.
Let me contribute a little to this question you asked, Ambassador.
I will give you time.
Yes. Yes, Reverend Father.
Ambassador, excuse me. You asked about the plans that Biafra has for system of government. I think that question is entirely out of place because self-determination is a fundamental human right. You cannot ask us now to tell you the plans we have before we are giving our self-determination. Those things are in plan. We are a people of diverse background, and we also have to think about others. When we get,
Okay.
We have been hit by a story of a nation.
Reverend, you are finished.
Reverend Father, we have been hit by a story.
I believe that the brief explanation I gave you, I believe that the brief explanation I gave you about the confederation state should be enough, and it is going to be democratic.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's okay.
All of you.
Wait.
Thank you very much, all of you. I want us to now prepare our parting shots.
Okay.
This discussion can go on until Nigeria breaks. So, because the center cannot hold anymore. That book was very correct by Chinawa Chebe. So, it is a good debate. It's a beginning, and Simon and the group and other people. This platform is going to be there for a long time. So don't burst, don't break yourselves. We are going to be here for a long time to discuss until we find a solution. Now, Maina, what is it that is paining you? Because Maina,
you know, the story of Nigeria has taught a lot of our country. You know that we have used a lot of our resources, our people die, and we use a lot of money, right? That you know that.
Dr.
Maybe 50% of the budget of. I'm coming.
Yes, go ahead, Ambassador.
Can I explain?
Yes.
So, Dr. Marsanga, you know that even sometimes 55% of the budget of my country went to Nigeria, so I have to intervene. That's why I want Simon and all of the panelists to give me a clear answer, because I don't want again to involve myself in only waste of energy and waste of time, because me, I am the police of the Africa. I am the soldier. If there is any problem, I'm the first person to land there to bring peace. So if you don't give me clear map, how am I going to help you, Dr. Marsanga? Now, it's very good, but at the end of the day, we start to find out that we have to deal with these people, that the people who have driven Nigeria wrong, either in Britain or America, we have to deal with them for now. Can you hear me?
We have heard you. We got it. Now, thank you very much, all of you. No, wait. Thank you very much, all of you. We have 12 minutes. And we are going to divide them very efficiently. One, Professor, Dr. Nyacha.
Thank you. The network is really bad.
Thank you very much.
Patrick, I'm coming. I know. Please.
My side,
my
side, the network is very bad, so I can't say anything.
Yes, we know. Maina, mute your thing, then we, Dr. Nyachama.
Okay.
1 minute, please, Dr. Nyachama.
Thank you very much, Dr. my friends from Nigeria. Dr. Marsanga, you know, personally, I've brought this issue, whether Buhari is alive or not. If he is he mentally capacitated or incapacitated? That is an issue our Nigerian brothers and sisters need to determine. I am telling you, they may be shocked that is another person who's leading Nigeria, because a person who has taken an oath of office to protect his people cannot behave the way he is behaving. Let me tell you, Dr. Marsanga, that a man in February 23rd, 21, Alfred Martins, Archbishop of Nigeria, he said that, I can quote him, that Nigerians have given up on the viability and even the desirability of the Nigerian project. And they need to explore other options.
Oh, yes.
Coming from the men of the flock themselves, they said that Nigerians are...
network.
All right.
Thank you. You will come back. Ayo, the Yoruba,
yes.
The biggest man, second or around there to you, or Biafra. I want to hear your views. 1 minute. Because you're a new man on the station, I will add a half a second.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can anybody see me? Because I can't see.
Yes,
I'm seeing you.
Live and clear. You have now taken off your hat.
Yes. You see, the topic got very hot, you see, so, that's why I took my hat off. Now, quickly, look, there's something that is being completely ignored in all of this as well. Of the fraudulent governance that we have in place now is the promulgation decree number 24 of 1999. What is being used to rule illegally in that contraption is actually a decree that the Fulanis put together under General Abu Bakr Abdul Salam, whatever, whichever order that was. Exactly. So now the problem, the thing is this: we are exposing that now, and we, with the Minas, what we said was, we do not believe in anything to do with the governance currently in place. It is illegitimate, It is unacceptable. It is oppressive. And we are dismantling contraption Nigeria. Whether the Fulanis like it or not, the Biafrans are growing, Middle Belt are going, Yorubas are certainly going. We are saying categorically, RIP One Nigeria. No ifs, no buts, no quarter given. Because this is an oppressive governance. You cannot be having a discussion with somebody oppressing you, putting your head up underwater and expecting you to survive. We cannot do it. You either survive by pushing it away and get up, or you stay sunk under and then they take over your land. We are doing the other one. We are taking over our land. That's our prayer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are you speaking from New York? I can see the bridge across.
No. That's just a background thing. I'm from the UK.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Patrick Ekpa.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Making it very brief and fast. Thank you. I feel embarrassed all the time. Each time we make our argument on Nigeria and the need for Biafra freedom, people always refer us to South Sudan. Why should that be? You cannot use the failure of Sudan, South Sudan, or to measure the freedom of Biafra. It is completely unacceptable. It is completely inhumane, and we want the world and Africa to desist from making such comparison. The Biafran people have a different orientation when it comes to way of life, and how we are going to structure our government is going to be purely on referendum based on people's decision, and not just one dictator coming out to tell Biafrans what they should be doing, just like we have in Nigeria today or in other African countries. So comparing the Biafran people with South Sudan is completely unacceptable, Patrick, and it has to stop. It has to stop. And that is what I have to say to this program.
Yes, Patrick, Doctor, yes. Before you come in, don't you think maybe on the flip side, it could be a good case study of how not to, on the flip side? Yeah.
I think we have been able to prove over time that we have what it takes to govern ourselves if we are given independence.
All right, thank you.
We have what it takes.
Okay,
good.
So that comparison is completely unacceptable as far as Biafrans are concerned.
Thank you.
All right.
You have answered the Medium's question very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Reverend, 1 minute.
Yes, I want to
then
make
I come to Marsanga, then I come to Jocelyn. Then finally, I will come back to Simon to make 1 minute presentation. Then Noble, before I come to Simon, Noble, prepare your last one since you are in the Queen's tie. So we in that tie is very respectable, my dear brother. So it's another culture that, yes, Reverend.
I want to make my concluding submission. I want to say that the question which Ambassador Maina threw to us is the exact mentality with which the colonialists lumped us together. Because by that time I had read Lugard, how he described us that time. He said we are happy, thriftless, excitable, lacking in self-control, discipline, and foresight. With little sense of veracity, they saw us as just glorified children who cannot make any rule for ourselves. I think it is unjust to ask us how are we going to govern them. We have governed ourselves before they lumped us together. We had a system of kindred units submitting people for representative in a republican manner of government. And then we have every right to seek self-determination. You cannot ask a people seeking for self-determination what you have on board.
Reverend, that's a point made. Our satellite is going off. Okubui, Mr. Okubui, donate 1 minute, half a minute to Okubui. Yes, Okubui. Mr. Okobui Kingsley. Unmute.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you once again. I also want to greet my senior brother, Samuel Ekpa. I want to say thank you again. And what I want to say is that this your platform is going to help the Biafrans. One, because very soon Nigeria is going to shut down every means of social media. That's going to happen very soon. So, to the other question of Ambassador Miners asked, we are men, we are not children. We know how to govern ourselves. And meanwhile, our leader, Marsanga, has always placed the blueprint on how Biafra is going to be governed. A nation inside a nation. Everybody going to be free, not like the type we have in Nigeria. You know, a place where you can air your view, you contribute to the growth of the nation. That is Biafra. Biafra has come of age to rule themselves, and we know what is good for us. And meanwhile, most of us are scattered all over the world. Like here I am in South Korea, I know what is obtainable here. So we know. There was something I tweeted before. I said, making us to scatter all over the world was not to hurt us. Rather, they taught us how to rule ourselves, how to go and learn. We went to school. We are here in school. We are learning how a developed world should be. So what I want to say is that Biafra has the capacity, the capability, more than any world, any nation on this earth, to rule ourselves and to make ourselves a great nation. That has already.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Hilary. Quick one. I am giving you a chance. I'm not Buhari, who is the dictator.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, my senior Simon, Ekpa, and everyone that is on the line here. Just a brief one concerning the question from Maimo. What I will ask him, that he should be patient. Just give us the platform for our freedom. Then you will see how we govern ourselves. You cannot be asking us on this platform now because it's too short. We have a lot of organizations, many things going on. So when it's ready for that one, when you accept our offer from ICC and every other bodies that are necessary to give us that thing, then come up with your question. I will tell you gladly, and I'll beat my chest. They are able men, capable men, able to give you the exact answers to your questions. We have been governing ourselves right before the European, the British, those tips before they came in and start recolonizing us. I don't know what they meant by recolonization. And that is the cause of African problem. Africa was one of the best continents in the world. It was when the Europeans came, they turned everything aside, divide and conquest everywhere across the world. And it became a problem to Africa. Until today, Africa is still suffering from it. We need to be liberated. Then secondly, before I drop in, we need to be watchful, especially to this Nigerian government. A lot needs to be done quickly to save more lives. I want to bring your mind back to Lekki Tollgate. The ban on Twitter is a very, very serious thing that needs to be looked to because every other thing will be banned very soon. Look at Lekki Tollgate. Before they sent in their army, they set up a roadmap. When they got there, innocent youth, citizens protesting for their rights. What happened? They had to put off the lights. Why are they putting off the lights? Remove the camera. Whatever will bring information to the world, they are going to take it out. And that is the next move they are going, because they are going to go into great genocidal attack on the Nigerians, especially the Southerners. And now, whatever we bring the information to the limelight has been taken out, and they will gradually take all of them out. Now, my plea is this. We need to act fast. If you don't want more lives to be lost, Africans, African Union, African leaders, we need to act fast. We need to put a stop to this tyrannical attitude of the president. Otherwise, more lives will be lost without the knowledge of the world. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Noble, and there was Songa, then Jocelyn, the lady. At least give the lady time. Noble.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all participants of this program. It's been a very nice and very well in 1 minute conclusion. We have had this war before in 1967 to 1970. Even prior to that war, there have been a very great challenge, and that challenge was basically on pogrom after pogrom. Pogrom after pogrom. Even prior to the time that the British were governing Nigeria, after the amalgamation, they were governing it. Our region was referred as the Old Eastern Protectorate. That time, before even we had a Bori Accord, everybody knew that we struggled to send a clear message to the world that we are being killed, but nobody wanted to help. They allowed the pogrom to happen. 5 million people died. And this cannot continue this time around. In this time that social media is there, the information outlets are very high. Nigerian government and the British and the Western external institutions have a very big hand in what is happening there. And Africans should wake up. We all should wake up. We have to see that we have a great challenge. And that challenge is a challenge to protect lives and property. And African leaders should be very, very much interested in what is happening to Africa. They cannot keep silent any further. We are human beings. And that is why we don't have enough time today to pass on this message to the whole world.
We shall.
The little time we have today is to ask African people to look at what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria have no president, and the life that have been lost every day is too much. Yes. And with this note, I'm just saying, let us continue to run this program to educate Africans more, to help everyone to get the real message and the real information of what is happening in Nigeria. I thank you, everybody, for being part of this program. Let us make it a very successful one. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Novo. Jocelyn, Madame Jocelyn, make your presentation as a lady. Make it point by point, please.
All right, thank you, Doctor, for the time. I've been quiet listening to every one of them. We've talked about the whole thing that is going on, from the Twitter issue down to the killing and massacre of the people back home. There is something also the government of Nigeria has forgotten. The men in uniform have actually dealt a heavy blow to the youth. So what do you expect when you keep suppressing or oppressing the youth? Definitely one day they will want to fight back, and that is what we're seeing right now. They have actually unleashed the beast from
Kingsley. Mute.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Jocelyn.
Thank you. They have unleashed the beast in the youth, so they have taken up arms, and they cannot continue to kill a particular region of a state, and you expect them to keep quiet. Doctor, it has never happened anywhere, because you expect that one day these people will take up arms and they will defend the land, and that is what the people of the Biafran land are doing. We are not fighting anyone. We just want our land to be free of terrorists and terrorism. That is what we want. And they cannot be coming into our land, killing my people, and you expect us to be quiet. If Nigeria is going to break up, definitely, it is going down gradually. And it's just like Nigeria is actually now on an autopilot, and it's going to crash. So anybody that is trying to salvage the nation, I would tell the person to stop, because Nigeria is unsalvageable. Nothing can be done to revive or to make the nation stand anymore. The people have spoken. They should throw in the referendum. That is what we're asking. Throw in the referendum. Let us decide what we want. As per everyone comparing us to Southern Sudan and stuff like that, we are not the same. We've got different destinies. Our fate is not the same with those people from the Southern Sudan. We are different people. We know how to govern ourselves, and everyone is going to be given the equal right to decide. And before I go, Mazi Khan has always said it. When Biafra comes, he's not going to be a leader in Biafra. No, he's just going to be a state, like an elder statesman. And the power will be in the hands of the people. The people will decide who will rule them and who will not rule them. So everything is going to be laid bare for everyone to see. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jocelyn. I always like the way you bring your points straight. Now, there is a name in Nigerian history that I don't forget, Okoye. Brigadier Okoye.
Yeah,
you remember that guy? Are you a brother of Okoye? You know, I am a historian.
No,
Simon has not told me. Is this the Okoye, the coup plotter? There were very many Okoyes. You remember? In the 1966.
My own Okoye friend.
There was an Okoye.
My own. Joseph Okoye.
Are you a relative of the Okoye clan?
No. My Okoye is different.
Okay, go ahead, make your point. Just 1 minute.
I just want to say something here. You know, oftentimes people they used to, equate us with South Sudan and about the wars and rest of them. I want to ask this question. I want to say this. After the independence of America, I believe they fought war. I've read it. They fought war, but that war didn't make them to become a poor nation. They rose up from the ashes of the war, and today they are thriving economy. So I'm not trying to say that after the independence of Biafra or after we got our independence, we're going to fight war. No, what I'm trying to say is that we have our own destiny to cut for. We have our own future to pursue. We are not South Sudan. We are Biafrans. We are go-getters. We are peaceful people. So bringing us to measure up with South Sudan is completely nonsense. People should stop creating that fear so that people will begin to back out from the struggle for Biafra. So my position is this: we are Biafrans. We are not South Sudan, and the birth of Biafra is sacrosanct. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Okoye. Thank you very much, Okoye, for that intervention. Quick, Marsanga, a good word, one word for blessing.
Yes,
thank you. You are the owner of the house.
Thank you, Dr. Marsanga. And the Englishmen say that the owner knows where it. We've heard from our Biafran brothers speaking, and they are only ones who knows where their shoe pitches, and therefore they have said with their hearts and their minds that they need their freedom, they need self-determination, and therefore as Africa, as the world, we have no any other objection other than to accord them the support they need. And lastly, Dr. Marsanga, for those ones who are trying to compare Biafrans with South Sudan, we'll have to go back to the books of history and actually see that the colonialists deemed Biafrans as people who are organized in terms of governance, and actually whatever they could not do, they gave it to Biafrans, even in the colonial administration. But when you look in South Sudan, they actually prefer the Northerners, the Muslims, to do such particular duties. So that tells you that we do have a very different kind of people here. So we can never make a comparison between Biafrans and the people of South Sudan. It is very ludicrous to think so. I submit.
Thank you very much. Finally, Simon, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is very ridiculous to think like that. Mr. Minor, is Mr. Minor still around?
No, don't worry. The message he has one.
Okay. Because he need the message. He need the message to take back. He said,
don't worry. He's watching from the one of his big houses.
I personally appreciate the fact that he asks those questions because they are very vital questions, to my opinion. And the time has come when we will be facing these critical questions and answering them and letting people know that we are ready. We have been ready. Not when they say go and get Biafra, you begin to bring questions, bring answers to those questions. We are ready. And like I said, Minor and every other person that have the same opinion and have the same questions to ask us, I want you to go back and tell your people that, one, we, the Biafra people, are going to have democratic government, confederation, where each nationality or each ethnic nationality or each confederated state will control their economy independently. We are going to have what we call the brain-based economy. Brain-based economy. I want you to take that to your people. Two, take this to your people that Biafra is going to be an innovative country. As I'm talking to you today, in Nigeria, They hunt people producing AK-47, locally made AK-47. They hunt them, they arrest them, they kill them, they jail them. In Biafra, we are going to invest and pump money in innovation. We are going to bring anybody who have the knowledge to build AK-47 locally. We are going to teach them. We are going to train them and make sure Biafra become one of the best African countries to produce arms and ammunition. 3, we are going to invest very much in you said you have invested a lot in the war against Boko Haram in Nigeria. Yes, when Biafra come, I want you to take this message to the people in the chat. Tell them that when Biafra come, you will no longer invest money into fighting against Boko Haram, because the coming and the emergence of Boko Haram of Biafra will automatically solve 70% of the terrorist activities in the entire Sahel region. So that will save you money, and you can use the money you are pumping into party terrorism to develop your country. Number 4, Number 4, which is the last. 4, and lastly, the thing you see about Nigeria today or about Biafras today, why you are worried about Biafra and Sudan, I want to ask a question. Is it not in the same Africa that Eritrea or Ethiopia had just few years ago, 2 years ago, if I'm not there were 2 referendums conducted in 2 African countries. Why did you people not ask when Ethiopia conducted a referendum that it would be like Sudan? We do not know the outcome of the referendum, but there were a referendum in Ethiopia and either Papua Guinea, also one of the other African countries. And lastly, what you see about Biafra today, Nigeria made us. Nigeria breed criminals. Nigeria breed evil, corruption. So every attitude you see from any Biafran or Oduduwa person in Nigeria today is as a result, as a negative impact of Nigeria. And immediately Nigeria is disintegrated, every spirit of Nigeria will vacate and vanish and leave every one of us. Okay. Thank you very much.
And just so you know, there's chaos.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, all of you. The platform will continue every day. We broadcast from morning, always join our debates, always engage us, not only on Nigeria, but I want to inform Ayo and others that we broadcast from 9 o'clock up to 5 o'clock every day. And we are we are on live on satellite. We are still doing so. So I want to thank you all that tomorrow we shall continue with the Horn of Africa on our debate on Africa. Again, join us as we discuss the countries, Egypt, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, and Ethiopia. Tomorrow from 11 East African Standard Time. Otherwise, so many things have come out. I don't have much time to summarize them, but I will have time to write out a paper for you. The autopilot thing is what Jocelyn said. Nigeria is on autopilot. The pilot has died a long time ago. So the plane is moving to crash in the southern seas of Pacific Ocean. Flight number 317 of Malaysian Airlines. So please, we shall take your message. External forces. I want to thank Miriam. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank my engineers on the ground in Nairobi, all the people, participants who were here and who left. Thank you very much. This is the spirit of Pan-African movement, a Pan-African station. Thank you very much. Miriam, say hi to people as they go home. Ladies always give you the warmth of walking back home. Don't fall in the bridge that I can see in New York. Please walk properly, my dear brother from Yoruba. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless all of you. This station, therefore, is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa. Ciao.